Good morning. Hey, I'm Jim. Welcome to Time in Johnstown. Today I got a little project I'm going to start to work on here. I'll show you a couple things that I've picked up recently, eBay things. I got a Borel base for my Watchmakers lathe, and I went to a Eastern States Regional for the NAWCC, and I picked up a clockmaker's depthing tool, so I was kind of happy about that. I always wanted one. I don't know if I'll ever really, I'll use it to check depthing and that and to check the pivot holes, but it'd be great if I was going to actually build a clock. That would be fantastic. So stick around, and we'll get this set up, and I'll show you what we got. All right, so basically the Borel base is this for a watchmaker's lathe. And somewhere in here is the screw for it. You know, I've got a watchmaker's lathe set up over on another bench that, that I use quite often. But this base here is something that I've wanted, so I can use the lathe here at one of these benches. So it'll make things a little bit easier. The lathe will go here, the motor gets mounted here. Here I've had this lathe for a long time. It's an 8mm. It's in pretty decent shape. It's a Purton lathe. And of course I have the headstock and I have the tailstock. I have the point for here. I just don't have it right here with me. And so let me see if I can adjust this a little bit better. There we go. And so they sent me the screw, which is right in here. I believe this is the screw for it. Hopefully, if not, I'll have to find one. Yes, it is. Maybe the thread isn't correct. And the thread is not correct. So I'm going to have to get a fine, it's a fine thread, that's why. Okay. So I'm going to have to get a fine thread bolt for this and get that mounted on there. So that goes there. I've got the motor. The motor and the foot pedal. This one even has a little light that goes with it that you can use. I have a microscope that I want to be able to set this over in front of the mic and use the microscope and that. And the other thing is I picked up at the NAWCC Eastern States Regional is a clockmaker's depthing tool. A lot of you guys have these or know what they are, know how to use them in that. You put a couple of gears in here too that actually mesh into each other, and then you can spread them apart to get the depthing correct to where the teeth are meshing in with the pinion, and then you can use this to check on the plate, if the hole is in the correct position or not. Or if you're actually building a movement, you can actually use one pivot hole to kind of make a little mark to get a center line of where you want the next pivot hole if you're going to be drilling a plate to make a movement. So these are pretty pricey. It's all brass, but I always wanted one, and that's what that is. So all right, well, I've got to go get a fine thread screw, because that's what this is, a fine thread, and this is a coarse. And this is all aluminum base. I kind of like that. I do have one other item here I wanted to show you. I gotta locate it though. All right, a couple other little goodies I have here that I picked up. And actually a local auction of a watchmaker that had died, and they were auctioning off all the stuff in his at his home, and I picked up this cross slide, which I thought it's gonna make a nice little addition. So yeah, I picked up the cross slide, and then there's this. I don't know if this is a milling attachment or a grinding attachment, but I tend to think it's some type of maybe both. It's got this chuck on it here, which are pretty expensive to buy. I want to get this set up so that I can use it. Obviously, I know I can't use this on here, but I can use the cross slide. And this is an 8mm lathe. This is also something that I picked up with that cross slide in that. This is for the lathe here, and it's a plate, a holder, like you put a pocket watch plate, movement plate on there. And, you can adjust it for the different thicknesses of the plates and get it centered. And then if you got to do some lathe work on the plate, you can. Never used one, but I will be at some point here. Okay, after several attempts, I finally got it hot enough, and I think that's what it was. I didn't hold it on the blade long enough to get it good and hot, and I got it to go together. So apparently that's how it's done. So I went ahead and I put it on. I plugged it in to try the foot pedal. Slots up because there's some wicking material in there. I wanted to make sure I got some oil on them, and then we can set kind of the preload on there. And there's for the front bearing. And you can slow it right down with the foot pedal, so we're golden. We'll throw a collet in there. Box of collets over here. All right, I don't have any magnification on here, so it's kind of hard to see. But I just wanted to see how it was going to work, and it works great. So that's it. I'm just going to tighten up this bolt. That's how I did it. I'm sure there's other ways, probably better ways of mounting the motor in that. But now I got a lathe here that I can pick up and set off the bench if I want to, or set it up here on the bench. Plus I have the one mounted permanently over there, and I got a 10mm, one that came out of, I guess, the Waltham Watch Factory from what I was told. And then I got my big Rockwell here. It's an 8-inch, 8 or 9-inch swing on it that I got out of a school system, actually. I just picked it up for I planned on making some bigger gears for a project that I was going to do, so out of brass, though, so not a big deal. So, all right, hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like and share it, and subscribe. Thanks. I'm Jim, time in Johnstown, and have a great day. Just a little side note here, something I kind of left off. If you, when you're going to leave one of these, you can change the thing pretty easy, and I can move this headstock forward and backward and tighten it up and to adjust it here to get, what pulley I want. But when you're done with it, it's best if you just take the tension off the belt. Not only does that good for the belt, but it's also good for the bearing, so you're not putting pressure. But now I got this oiled up good, so it's ready to go.